Hello, everybody. How's everyone today on this glorious day? It's still considered summer, but it's like fall. It's fabulous. It's in the low 80s today here at Messina Hoff, and it's just fabulous. Well, today I really wanted to talk about a grape that I am so emotionally attached to, and it's Zinfandel. Back when I was a kid and my parents and grandparents were making wine down in their cellar, Zinfandel was a strategic part of the blend. It was Zinfandel and Alicante Boucher, and it was a fabulous red table wine that we had for dinner every night. And so Zinfandel is a fabulous grape. It is 10% of the red grape vineyards in California. That's how popular it is as a varietal. It's difficult. It's a tough grape to grow, especially when you get close to ripening, because you tend to start getting a very condensed and tough bunch. And if you get a big rain, sometimes the bunch will actually start to burst. So it's a tough grape, but because of the high plains, being a high desert, we rarely get those kind of rains just prior to harvest. So today we're going to talk about two of my favorite California Zinfandels and a brand new release at Messina Hoff, our private reserve Zinfandel. We only make Zinfandel on exceptional vintages, and the 2018 was exceptional. And then today we're going to be sharing that with a fabulous Wisconsin brie. It's a blue brie, very unusual. And then we're getting a triple cream brie from France, along with dates. Have to have dates. Dates fabulous, and then some nice grapes to enjoy with it. So we're going to start off with one of my favorite producers of Zinfandel, and it's the Sagacio family. They've been producing Zinfandel in Sonoma County for decades. They're one of the first Zinfandels that I ever tried way back in the 60s. So this is the Sagacio family Zinfandel. It's been passed on from one generation to the next. Very similar story to Messina Hoff, and it's a wine that is really indicative of great Sonoma Zinfandel. Look at the color. You always expect dark, rich color from Zinfandel. It's really funny when the Sutter Home folks started making white Zinfandel back in the 70s and 80s. All of a sudden, people would come to the winery and they'd say, "I'd like some Zinfandel." You'd pour them a red wine, and they'd say, "No, it's supposed to be pink." No, it's supposed to be red. Back then, they had an excessive amount of Zinfandel, and they bled off the juice early before the skins really influenced the wine, and they made something that turned into a phenomena, white Zinfandel. At one point, it was 22% of all the wines sold in the United States. That's how popular white Zinfandel. So, the folks at Sutter Home uh, had a winner. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It had a big run, and now we're back finally to using Zinfandel as a red wine. So let's smell. It's got a very, very distinctive aroma. It's like a dark prune, dark berry aroma. It invites you in. It's a very inviting wine, and then when you taste it, mm, great balance, great acidity. Zinfandels are extremely long lived. The other night, I had in my collection a 1975 Inglenook Zinfandel. So we opened it up and said, well, we're not expecting much. It was fabulous. It retained its color. Even the cork came out of the bottle easy. I mean, it was a delightful wine, and it was all the way back to 1975. So This is a Sagacio 2018. Lovely wine, moderately priced, one that you could really enjoy every day of the week or on the weekend. Now, the next producer that I really enjoy is the Pedrocelli uh, folks in Sonoma County. Again, Sonoma is pretty well known for Zinfandel, and they have been producing Zinfandel a long time. Great color, fabulous aroma, very similar to the Sagacio. And when you taste it, mm, rich, velvety flavor, coat your tongue, fabulous. You know, let me tell you the story about Zinfandel because it is completely different in truth than what is most people will have told you the story. Um, when I was growing up, the story was the Italians, the immigrants from Italy, came to the United States with cuttings from Italy, and they put them in their boots, and they came across the United States and eventually into California, and then they planted the grape in California and called it Zinfandel. Well, not exactly the truth. It is actually a grape that's from Croatia that immigrated finally into Puglia, which is a very famous place for growing Primitivo Zinfandel, and then a Hungarian nursery out of Vienna started shipping cuttings into the east coast of the United States. This is way back in 1820 to 1850. And they started planting that grape there on the east coast, all the way from Massachusetts down to New York and New Jersey. Well, then they took the grape, and with the gold rush, amazing how the gold rush got involved in this. They actually took cuttings from those grapes and they took them to California. It could have been an Italian, it could have been anybody, but it got to California. So in 1850, 1860, all of a sudden you started noticing that there was this red grape being planted in California, and they called it Zinfandel. And that's how it finally got to the West Coast, and it became extremely popular pre-Prohibition and immediately after Prohibition. Well, how did it get to Texas? Well, we are greatly influenced by the California wine industry in Texas. A lot of our speakers came from UC Davis, UC Fresno, and they spoke about Zinfandel. So, the high plains of Texas, a high elevated desert that's dry, that normally doesn't get rain during harvest, seemed like an exciting place to grow Zinfandel. A lot like Puglia back in Italy, where it grows a lot. So we started growing it up on the high plains. The fruit quality is exceptional. This is our private reserve Zin 2018. And I can tell you from looking at the three, it is without a doubt the darkest. The skin gets so dark up on the high plains because 85% of the days in the high plains, sunny. Sun turns the skin into dark. It produces anthocyanins, which produces color. And that's why we have exceptional color on our red grapes in Texas. When you smell it, it has these same aromas, except it's amplified. It's just a beautiful aroma. And then when you taste it, mm, amazing balance. Amazing balance. So when we have our food with this, very strong flavored wines go with strong flavored cheeses. So, that blue, strong flavor, Zinfandel, melts in your mouth. Amazing. Have a little prunes. Keeps you to be regular people. And so here we have three fabulous Zinfandels. Fabulous. Enjoy them. On behalf of everyone here, we want to wish you all the best and keep on enjoying Texas wine.